But as Alex was remarking earlier, that when it gets this dangerous, often deputies will pull back and they go into tracking mode so as to keep the public safe as they possibly can in a situation like this.
And we just saw one of the Sheriff's Department's helicopters for a second underneath there as they try to follow this person by air as well.
Oh, it looks like they just threw out maybe some cans or something outside the window there. Now they're in an alleyway. There's a passenger we just saw on that tight shot. We're still sticking with the alleyway here.
So now you're getting a sense we are in the Bell Gardens area. Our technology is showing you where exactly this is in terms of the streets on Eastern Avenue in the Bell Gardens area. If you know folks in this neighborhood, give them a heads up that this could be coming. I mean, this is very close to people's homes as they are beginning to get home from work. You just saw somebody on either a motorcycle or a scooter and now turning once again.
So we picked this pursuit up about 20 minutes ago is when we got word of it, and officially started in the city of Commerce and now making its way to Bell Gardens. We know that there are at least 2 people in this Lexus sedan, 4-door sedan here. We don't know if the passenger happened to be in the vehicle when the suspect got into it, and maybe it's not related to the crime and being held against his or her will. And we can tell you that authorities understand that this suspect had a gun with the attempted robbery that happened.
And we don't know what that suspect just threw out of that window, because it looked like he threw out something, whether it be a gun, whether it be bottles, whether it be something else. You wonder, I'm sure there was a deputy that would then go behind and try to pick up exactly what that is to give them a better sense of who they are pursuing and what that person had in their vehicle.
So our technology is showing Bell Gardens still. As far as we can tell, this is Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue.
Something else.
There's
and that came out of the passenger side. Something
right.
else being thrown. You wonder, and something else now being thrown. And now a turn into another alleyway.
Slowing down. So they're going to make a run for it?
Here they go. Okay, person gets out, both of them get out, and now going for a run. You wonder if this is an area that they're familiar with. Oftentimes, pursuit suspects will go to, climbing onto the roof of a property.
I believe that is the driver.
Whoa.
Onto the roof.
Where's he going to go?
Yet to be determined. Not a lot of options.
Where can you go? And now he's being seen by helicopters. Whoa! Jumped onto another spot. Wow! On top of this car. It looked like something out of an action thriller there. And now you see the black and white showing up.
The sheriff's deputy, one of their units now on scene.
Now trying to climb onto another roof.
Yes, the suspect.
And we wonder where the other suspect is, because there were 2 suspects that got out of that vehicle.
It's going to have to climb this wall.
That's going to be quite a climb. You imagine the sheriff's deputies are now communicating with this person.
Right. So making the decision to hop the fence, to climb up this retaining wall. It looks like into some sort of a construction zone.
Doesn't look like anybody's working there. You see the helicopter overhead. This person can hear the helicopter overhead. My guess is the sheriff's department using the megaphone to communicate with this person. And
keep in mind, this is just one of the 2 suspects. So we only have 1 camera, unfortunately. So there is another suspect at large, likely doing the same thing, if not already taken into custody.
You got to wonder, what is this person thinking at this point?
Well,
and you wonder also, is this person potentially on drugs or on something else? Okay, so here, is that the other suspect?
I think it may be the other friend. I think it's the other suspect. I think that's the passenger. How they ended up in the same spot.
I mean, there is the possibility also that they went to a neighborhood that they're familiar with, and that this could be a buddy that was unrelated to the chase that's potentially trying to help this guy.
So now they're likely discussing the next best move between the 2 of them. At this point, it would appear that this is,
Well, the next best move would be to turn yourself in, because where are these people going to go?
sure, it's just a matter of time until the deputies find them.
But what the deputies don't know, are they armed? Which might be part of the reason that they're keeping a little bit of distance from them and not going after them, because the deputies could climb up there too.
Sure. And then given the long hair and ponytail, I mean, these days you never, who knows? But I mistakenly was saying that it was a male suspect. It may be a male suspect in the white. It's hard to determine if that's a woman as well. One more time.
Yeah.
So on this tight shot, you have to wonder where the deputies are. They can't be that far away at this point, and the suspect gets officially on the other side. So now there they are,
and hugging what appears to be a man and a woman. And now we go,
in a backyard.
and we don't know if this is their backyard. We don't know if this is the backyard of a friend, or if this is a random person who is home from work or not home from work at 5:15 and
Sure.
has suspects crawling and climbing and jumping all over their property, and multiple news helicopters and sheriff's helicopters.
And now taking cover under this tree. Now this ended specifically at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue. At last check, were we in? Yes, in the city of Bell Gardens. So this is Bell Gardens at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue, the closest intersection there.
So now we have a bit of a standoff situation underway in terms of the sheriff's deputies determining what to do next. Clearly, they know where these suspects are. I mean, not only are our helicopters blasting these images out, which
there
the
they
sheriff's
are.
department are tracking, their helicopter also tracking. So now we see the sheriff's deputies.
As many as 4. Obviously, they're making communication.
Does this presumably man and woman just decide, okay, we've had enough, it's time to give up? You see
It looks
the
like it.
hands going up?
Yeah, looks like the hands are up.
Hands are up because the sheriffs are saying, put your hands up, blasting it, yelling at them. Their hands are up. This is how they can, for their own safety, make sure that they do not have guns in their possession. Because that is the concern for sheriff's deputies approaching these suspects who have acted so erratically all along. Could they be armed in this situation?
Right, this all coming to an abrupt stop down that alleyway after driving recklessly, carelessly through several surface streets from Downey to Bell Gardens to Commerce, ending here in Bell Gardens. And now these suspects, after hopping a few fences, onto a couple roofs, onto some vehicles, and then ending up in this backyard. Here are 4 East LA sheriff's deputies, as far as we're told, and they're going to make their way to these suspects and I presume put him in handcuffs and take him off.
Does he have his gun out, it looks like? I mean, it was pretty amazing, Marlon, wasn't it, to see that woman jumping from property to property.
She's got some agility.
I mean, that was an impressive feat there to go, especially and to land on top of that car. So now we see another sheriff's deputy. So they are being surrounded in multiple directions. It appears that or at least 2 of these deputies have their guns aimed on them in case they do move towards their waistbands.
And it does look like they're doing, finally, as told, following the deputy's orders. And this is routine to obviously show your hands, keep them up, and let us come to you. And now it's even more deputies on the right now.
From both directions.
Right.
So there's somebody in the 2 deputies in the construction zone. So they are now being surrounded in 3 different directions by deputies with guns drawn. This is no joke for these 2 as they now we see another approaching right there where that looks like to be artwork is. A couple getting closer. This guy trying to say, yes, our hands are.
So by a quick count, probably close to a dozen deputies suddenly. Oh, it looks like
Yeah.
SWAT as well, if I'm not mistaken, in the bottom of the screen there.
So tense moments here. And now this guy needs to try to push himself up there, but still this entire time. Wow, look at this. Keeping those arms out there, because
Yep.
that's the number one thing, is to not be able to go towards his waistband. So now they have to,
Oh,
ooh, God, that can't feel good. Oof.
well, he's wedged in there pretty good.
Yeah. So now they're going to handcuff him.
And now it's her turn. Looks like they got him into handcuffs. Hard to tell under the eave there. And then she makes it over okay.
Hands behind her head.
She made it
And
a lot
then-
easier than he did.
Oh. Her agility has been impressive this entire time. Well, there it is. I mean, thankfully, given how erratically and dangerous those two were driving, that this did not end with a terrible crash
Sure.
somewhere for some innocent person driving.
All lives saved. Unfortunately, definitely some damage to some vehicles of some unsuspecting drivers, because in the few minutes that we watched, he definitely sideswiped, or she, if she was behind the wheel, I believe she was, sideswiping a few innocent drivers out there on this Wednesday evening.
And we don't know if there was any damage to this property, too, as she was running and jumping from place to place and jumped on top of a car. And, you know, quite a scene here. But now you see right there those suspects being taken into custody. And a neighborhood can breathe a little easier after quite a pursuit.
All right, that wraps up our coverage here of the latest pursuit. This one ending at Shoal Street and Eastern Avenue, Bell Gardens. 2 suspects in custody. The original want was a robbery suspect. Another person ended up, both of them, surrendering to deputies.
We'll try to get more information about those suspects, especially tonight at 10. But we'll be back with more of the day's news right after this.